Hey, this is Allie Edwards, and welcome to story number 4 in my December daily album for 2023. What I am working off of today is this page that had originally been opposite of the ornament page that I didn't end up using yesterday and will likely use some other time. So this is my story 3 over here with Simon. So when I was working on foundation pages, I went ahead, this was one of the transparencies we offered. I went ahead and took the transparency, cut it up, and added it to stitch it along the outside edge of a 6x8 page protector. So this is a great way to add additional real estate if you are wanting to do that. Let's say you have lots of you're working in the 10x8, but you have lots of 6x8 page protectors. This is something that you could do. Also, I wanted you to see that stitching, like running something through the sewing machine like this and using that zigzag stitch, this could be folded over. It could open up like that on either side. So that is another something that if you are needing something like that, it could work really well. The story that I would like to tell today is simply about snuggling with my pets, and that seems to be something that I really enjoy. And if you have pets, you probably really enjoy that too. And so the other night I took a picture of our 2 cats and our dog on Aaron and I's bed. So we've got 2 orange cats, Ernie and Sam, and then this is our dog Betty. And I'm going to go ahead and that's just going to slip into the pocket. I'm also going to use from our 4x6 specialty journal card set. There was a couple overlays that were a cute frame like this, and it just says moments. So I'm going to actually just slip that right inside there. I love how simple and easy that could be. For today, I'm actually going to hand write my journaling. So that's something I'm going to do here on the video to just tell a little bit a story about them. I also had a couple different numbers out. This is a number 4 from a few years ago that felt number 4. And so I was looking I looked through the main kit, and then I also looked through this die cut pack to see was there something that I could add on to the 4. I've thought of a couple different ideas, and I might still try one of them that I'm going to tell you about in just a second here. But there was this one star that I thought could be added onto there. The other thing that I considered, we've been talking a lot about shaker pockets and doing shaker pockets, and somebody the other day was like, I can't believe you didn't make this one a shaker pocket. So that is something that could happen on top of this number 4. So I'm kind of thinking about that a little bit, like what would happen if I put some of these cute little sequins inside of there and turned this number 4 into its own little shaker. So that'll give me a little bit of fun, right? A little bit of crafty, playful fun to figure that out. I'll have my story and I'll have my photo, and this will be day 4 in my project. So I think I'm going to try to see what happens. How could I do this with this number 4? One of the good things about the number 4, let's come down a little bit closer here, is that it's really blocky. So if I wanted to create a shaker out of this, I could. And one of the things that I'm thinking about doing, and I think I'm probably just going to do it because we're here and we like to test things out, is to, instead of using like the graphics transparency, use a page protector. Maybe, let's see, it might even work like a 3x4 pocket where I slip it in the pocket and then I go around the outside and stitch that around the outside. I don't know. Let's try it out and see what happens. So here's a page protector. This is kind of what I was curious about. If I put this in here, yeah, so that one, it's not going to work on 3x4 because it's just a little bit too tall if I want the plastic to be going around the outside. So I think what I'm going to do, I just want to see if this is going to work. So like I said, sometimes it's more just my own curiosity from anything else. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim this page protector around like this, with the idea being that I am going to take it over to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch around the outside edge, so it's like a double stitch. We'll see what it ends up looking like. I think I can still have this guy in here if I do this. See where we can place him so he's still inside of there, and then I would add in the sequins. I think there was also a smaller, let's see if there was one other smaller star. You know, it really could be any other little embellishment in there, or word phrase, or not have any embellishments in there at all and just have some of the sequins. Or maybe I don't put that in there and I put one of these on top. Like I do the thing and then I put that, add that on top. That might be super cute. Okay, I'm gonna take this over to the machine and I'm gonna try it and see what does it look like if I just stitch around the outside where it becomes like a, you know, a pocket. So the stitching would be, so this is something, if you have a fuse tool, you could fuse this around there. That would be kind of interesting. Maybe, do I want to try that? It's experimental day. Maybe I'll do that just for something different. Let me see if I can find that tool. Okay, so if you've never seen a fuse tool before, this is what it looks like. And what it is designed to do is it heats up and then it can melt two pieces of plastic together. So I'm gonna let that heat up and then let's try this and see if it works. So while that's heating up, I'm gonna write on my journal card, and I have a little bit of a vision of wanting to use one of these big brush pens on here and not do short journaling, but just do something about, you know, so much comfort and joy comes from these pets. I'm kind of thinking about that and having it be messy journaling in black on there. That'll be another kind of graphic element almost to this. So while that is heating up, I think that that's what I'm going to do next. I feel like this is also a really good time to bring up that reminder that this project is the sum of all the parts. We talked a lot about that if you caught our Instagram lives that we did on our December Daily account last week. If you're not on Instagram or if you missed those, we have them all on the blog. You can watch the recorded videos of those. But I did talk a lot about how, you know, I don't have a super long story every day. And some days have short stories and some days have long stories. But what I personally love is when I look back on the month as a whole and I'm seeing all of the different little stories that come together to tell the bigger story of the month of December. So this brush pen, I used it on one of the circles, or my table of contents circles the other day. This is just I don't know if I can pronounce it. Kuretake, Kuretake, I think is what it's called, brush pen. And there's a few different versions of this. I've got another one here. This one, they're from Japan. I think sometimes one of the ones I have is a Pentel one also. But let's just try this. Here we go. I'm going to underline this because I like to underline. You guys have probably seen me do that before, but I'm not going to use the same pen. I think I'm going to use this this Slick Writer pen. Just so that has a little contrast. Sometimes with the thick pen, it can be almost too thick for the lines. It's very bold all around already. But I like that. I think that's fun. I kind of have a vision of like maybe doing a full page of this kind of writing this year, but we'll see. So again, super nice that it can just slip right in the pocket. Yay. So if you're doing you're in a 6x8 album, it can be as simple as this. I think that's what I want to say, right? It can be as simple as here's your photo, here's your words, capturing one little story from your own season and from your own life right now. All right, let's think that this is warmed up. Move on to this part. Let's see. First thing I wanted to do is let's do a little test with this fuse tool. So normally this is the one that I cut up, right? So let's see if we can fuse this top part. basically what it's doing is it's punching holes down into their, I don't know if you guys can see that, just the similar kinds of holes that, you know, when it goes through the manufacturing process, right, it's fused together. So that worked great. Got it nice and hot. So now what I want to try to do, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use if I'm going to freehand it or use my, I'm going to freehand it. Okay, so one of the things that's important in this process for me is I got to make sure that I don't forget to put the sequins in too, right? Sequins are part of what I want to do here. So let's just try freehanding, and I'm going to go a little bit farther on some of these. What I'm trying to do is give it a little bit of a border. So it's going to become a pocket, but I'm just going to cut off the extra. Right, so this can just go all the way over because it's going to get trimmed around the outside. That one I don't know if it worked. Let's try going over that again. Okay, for some reason that one punched a hole. Okay, so I want to try again. So I'm just going to cut another one because I want to see. I'm not sure why that. I wonder if I'm pressing too hard. Let's practice. And if you have tips for the fuse tool, feel free to share them in the comments. I'm going to try another one. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so part of what I saw that's happening right there, and that just happened on this one, is if it's not rolling, like if it stops, that seems to be where there's more of an issue. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it bigger. I can't have holes. Okay, so let's scoot that up just a little bit. So that part right there didn't work very good. So this is one of the reasons why I like to try these things. That maybe in those spots, in those corner spots is where it's not working. I'm just doing it all the way around now just to kind of see, and I'm trying to do it a little bit faster. I want this to work. Okay, let's see. I'm going to cut around it. This still may be my test version. So obviously, again, you could do this in the sewing machine, which would probably be my default, but I kind of wanted to just try it and see what this would look like. See, essentially, I'm making a pocket for the whole thing, right? Thinking that it could live on there. Let's see if we throw some of this stuff in there. This might still end up working out. It's kind of a matter of did I get it in most of those spots? Let's see what happens. This is another thing that you could hand stitch too. Okay, I really like this idea overall, so I think I'm gonna try one more time to see if I can get this encased in there, which means I'm gonna take out I gotta just cut it open. I'm gonna try one more time to see if I can get it a little bit closer, and then, well, even that's kind of fun, because even if you use that idea and you pulled that thing out and then you still made it into a 4, that's a whole other idea. Okay, just keep these in your back pockets, people. Back pocket ideas. Okay, let's get that out of there. Try one more time. One thing I could do too is try to use that part on the bottom that's already there. That might be. See, that's the part, it's the part like right in there and the inside of that seam that. Yeah, it's just making a hole. So maybe there's a tip for when you're meeting it in more than one place. See how even in that corner, I think I'm running into the same problem. Yeah, see how it just has scrunched it out. Okay, so I'm gonna bag this idea. I wanted to explore it as fully as possible. I think it could be operator error. It could be that this is just not working very well. I'm gonna try it on the sewing machine and show you guys what that looks like. And this one might work better on a different number, right? A different number that had maybe more. I thought this would be pretty easy but it's these inside corners right there that seem to be having the most trouble. So let's try it on the sewing machine. Okay, so here's the first part of running it through the sewing machine. Also not perfect, right? But a little bit, I have a little bit more control here than I did the other way. So, or with the fuse tool. Okay, so my plan here is that I'm going to trim this out, and then I'm going to put the sequins in, and then I'm going to run it through the sewing machine again to close it up. And again, this might not be your jam. That's cool. I'm just testing things out. This is one of the times of the year when I really enjoy, messing around, trying things, seeing what works, what doesn't work. That's the season that I am in. Okay, so let's cut this part open. All right, so again, this is kind of what it's going to look like on there. Let's see. Stick those sequins in there now. This is a sequin mix from the Diary of Belle Rose. She's got great little mixes over there. Found her, I think it was last year. She's on Etsy. I'll put a link, there'll be a link below. This is one of my favorites with the little candies, the peppermint candies. I don't really care if they go on the back too, because that is just fine. So might as well just put some in there that just go on the back. The back of this is going to be seen through the transparency. All right, back over to the sewing machine, going to stitch this up, and then we will figure out how we're going to put it in the album. Okay, so now I have it stitched all the way around. I have this cute shaker number 4. I think that was fun. So you could do that kind of thing, if you have, whoops, I can see a spot over there. I need to go back. With the smaller numbers this year, you could do that. You can do it with some of maybe one of the bigger ones. I'm thinking of like those really big red ones that we did a couple years ago. You could do this around a embellishment, right? Thinking of different ways that you might want to play around with something like that. Okay, that's what I gotta go fix this part right over here. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Do you guys see that? Do you see that in there? You know what that is? That's like a piece of red line tape, the back of red line tape from my table. That I just, as I was like sliding things up. Okay, we're just gonna leave it in there because it's Monday. All right. Okay, so is there anything else I want to add on here? Let's see. What is what it's going to look like on the back is just going to be sparkly. I think I might want to add a couple word phrase stickers on the top of there. I was thinking about adding another embellishment. Like I considered, maybe one of these stars. I think that's just going to be too puffy. Let's see. Okay, you know what? I think I might be able to get that out of there because now it's annoying. So if I just trim this off, I could stitch again. I could get that out. Peace out. Okay. It's a Monday. Okay. So I just went back and re-stitched that. If also, you might be sitting there thinking, why wouldn't you just stitch on top of where the gold stitching is? I could have done that. That could have been an option, but I decided I wanted the red of the outline and I wanted to encase, right? That's kind of what I was trying to do here was encase the number 4, not just make a shaker, but put it inside of something completely. And I like it as a way that you can play around with some of those page protectors that you might have in your stash, especially if they're ones like that you don't use as much. So, okay, I feel much better about that. I'm sure that some of you out there also feel better. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna look on these and see if what I got here. How about gather around? That one's kind of funny. I'm kind of thinking of just doing like, a 3 of these on here maybe, or a couple of them. Let's see. Finding space would actually be really funny. Right? Currently finding space. Oh my god, that's seriously what I'm gonna do. Because that feels like everything. Okay, I'm committing to that because I think it's funny. Finding space, yes. This was the add-on word phrase sticker pack, I believe, or the one we had in the shop. Okay, so now it just comes down to, remember, I could have ended this page many moons ago. But now it's just figuring out, now it's adhering this on there. And I'm pretty sure what I'm just going to do is do a little bit of red line tape around the back side on here, do my thinner version. And you'll be able to see that a little bit through the transparency, but I'm okay with that too. All right. So little stories. Little stories are great. Crafting is great. Childlike, playful fun where we don't get frustrated. That's great. Lots of things, right? All right, other things that you could do if you like this idea, right? The encasing idea, you could encase a letter. Maybe it's your last name or a kid's first name or something like that. That would be another fun way to approach that. I'm gonna just try to get it kind of in the center between those guys. Actually, no, it's probably, I'm committing. It's gonna be good enough, right? Okay, fun and playful. It's a little bit higher on there than I wanted it to be. Here's the back, so this will be part of the next day's story. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. Okay. It's hard for me sometimes because I have my camera right here, and so sometimes it's hard for me to see what the actual spacing is because normally I would get my face right up close to it. This is going to be good enough. All right, my friends. Tomorrow, I know that I will be doing story number 5 here in the album, obviously, story number 5. And that is going to be documenting what am I loving around here right now using this paper as the jumping off point. and probably pairing it with a photo here on the other side with that card. So, all right, you guys, I hopefully will see you back here again tomorrow.